proud and free before the oppressor's slavery. Black people live proud and free. How many more? Tell me now. How many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and say you're not involved. Don't try to convince yourself that these problems don't affect you at all. Because now it's Lebanon, Azania, Grenada. How many more? Tell me now. How many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and watch your children go off to war. Don't stand back and wait for this violence to come to your door. Because now it's Chile, Guatemala, El Salvador. How many more? Tell me now. How
Peace and love. Welcome to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition platform, NEPPC. This is the U.S. Political Prisoners and You. Today I have my brother who's frequently on the show, aiding me with this important work to raise awareness about political prisoner. My brother in the struggle, Tariq. Peace and love, brother.
Peace and love, Frank. I am Tyreek. I am a Black Panther. I am a former member of the Black Liberation Army. I spent 17 years in numerous American death camp prisons as a prisoner of war. Peace, Frank. Peace, audience.
Peace. So, today's discussion is about this current school year, and we're going to raise questions around the curriculum. Who should the curriculum reflect, right? People of African descent, when we see our children, when we send our children to schools, we want them to be properly educated. And it's important that we have an influence on their education. When we look at the past and we look at our struggle to control our curriculum, we look at Ocean Hill, Brownsville, and how the community organized and stood up and said that, we want people who are from our community, who look like us, teaching our children. They were taking a definitive position around their future. Our children are our future, right? And that in respect to what they've done, we have to raise the same concern regarding what's being taught to our children and asking the question, are they learning about our political prisoners? And if not, why not? Right? And that's a serious concern that we have. So my brother, as I do usually when you come on, I have 3 questions that I raise to you so we can engage in this discussion and we can raise people's awareness about the importance of our political prisoners, writing to them, fighting to bring them home, and not allowing them to die in prison. So my first question, brother, is why is it important for people to control their children's school curriculum?
Frank, thanks for that question. Good question. Our people need to control the curriculum of our students is very important. And that's not just a rhetorical question. Back in 1968, the authorities had said that it would be good if each community controlled the curriculums and the other issues in the school district. And so there were numerous Black people, serious Black people, who stepped forward and said that is a good idea and that should be implemented. And so that they began to try to get that implemented. And I just want to add that when I went to college, there was a person who participated in the Ocean Hill Brownsville fight who was in my class, and the teacher asked her to stand up so everyone could see her. So obviously the teacher felt that that was important, and she felt that it's important for us to know persons who have actually participated in that struggle, because to have community control of the school system, to have a Black curriculum and implement that, and our students to study Black matters, it saves Black lives. That's how important it is. It saves Black lives to see themselves as an object of study, and to know that they're being studied. It saves Black lives. That's the first thing that we should know, and know, and let that be permanently impressed on our minds. For Black people to study Black studies, it saves Black lives, because it tells the student that Black people are intelligent. And we go back to Egypt, and now they are finding out that the math used by the Egyptians in the building of the pyramids, that math was superior to the math of today. And matter of fact, they say that the Egyptians knew this math, and for white people to have said that they introduced this particular kind of math, it was because civilization had lost the records that showed that Africans had used this math. But that's to say that in studying Black studies, our students would learn that their ancestors and they are in turn intelligent. And so we would learn also that Black people are courageous, and those are very important things. But when we study someone else's curriculum, we learn about them, and we learn to have a high appreciation for members of another race. And in turn, while we learn to have a high appreciation for persons of another race, we also learn to have a diminished appreciation for Black people. So the matter of curriculum and Black people controlling our schools and having Black curriculum is a very important thing. It's a life-saving thing. It's very important, Frank.
Right. So it's like, as parents, and guardians, and as people living in the same community, like, we work, we do what we have to do, because we want our children, our future, to be brighter. We want our children to have the best of everything. So we spend a lot of time and we pay a lot of taxes. And that's why it's very important that we take up controlling the curriculum very seriously. When you look at the history of revolutionary and revolutions, you see that when they do carry out their objective is met, and they are in that position to control their school, control the curriculum. Then the curriculum starts to be based on their outlook, what they know is correct for their people. And I think that when we study that, that's very important, because now we take those examples and apply it to our current situation in terms of controlling our children's curriculum, because now we understand that we have a more stronger influence on our future, because that's exactly what our children are. They are future, right? So now, if they are future, and they supposed to be adamant about certain ideas and certain principles that are going to be beneficial to us today, tomorrow, and the day after, then the only way that is realistically possible is that we take the curriculum very seriously. My next question is, why is it important for students to be taught about political prisoners in school?
Frank, that's a good question also. Our students have to be taught about political prisoners, because in doing so, you would teach the student about the whole Black experience. For instance, you would to know about for our students to know about political prisoners, they would learn that what has happened is the colonizer has gone to Africa and have waged war in Africa on numerous occasions, and have captured our people and brought them back on the slave ships, and then brought them to America and enslaved them. And then they would learn about slavery, and that was a forced labor situation. That was a very cruel and very barbaric and very painful situation. And they would learn about that. That is in our past. They would also learn that the matter of us speaking English, the matter of us dressing the way we dress, is because the colonizer stomped us when we spoke our language. They beat us when we spoke our language. And the matter of us dressing the way we dress, when our people attempted to revert back to the clothing that they had been accustomed to, our enemies would stomp us and beat us and kill us, so that the dresses that people wear and the suits that people wear, they should know that those dresses and those suits are drenched in African blood. And that is why people wear that. And that is why they can smile while wearing that, because of the pain that our ancestors went through from being stomped and stabbed and shot and lynched when they attempted to speak our language and they attempted to wear our clothes. And so that all is encompassed in learning about political prisoners. And they would learn that our people were enslaved. They would work for no remuneration, no pay, and that system of working us for little or no remuneration, for little or no pay, continues today. And that is what they would learn. And they would learn that the persons that are taught to us as being our heroes, George Washington, when the Nazis used to march in America in the 30s, they used to have two pictures. One was of Adolf Hitler and the other one was of George Washington. And they would say that the Nazis felt that George Washington was the first fascist. And these are the things that they teach our children in the present curriculum. But in learning about political prisoners, we would learn that George Washington is not our hero. We would learn that Andrew Jackson, who was ordered the Trail of Tears, ordered the Long March for our indigenous brothers and sisters, and many children and many elders died on the Long March. They would learn that, and learning about our political prisoners, they would learn this also. These are the things, the truth of our existence here in America is what they would learn about. And that's why it is important for our parents to taught, our people should be taught about our political prisoners, because in learning about our political prisoners, that encompasses the whole body of information that our people should know.
Excellent elaboration. I appreciate that. One of the things that I wanted to take some time out to say, that if you're a parent and your child is starting school now, these are two important books that you should have in the school or at your home, right? You shouldn't just rely on your child going to school and learning. This book, this first book is by Jalil Abdul Muttaqin, former political prisoner, member of the Black Liberation Army, member of the Black Panther Party. That book deals with our oppression, deals with tactics and strategies that can be about our liberation. I think it's very important for our children's mind to be exposed to these ideas now, because as they start to see things happen in the world, like you see what's going on in Palestine, you see what's going on with ICE, you see the recent shooting at the place of worship. And these are going to raise serious questions. Why are these things happening? What can I do? And you don't want them to feel helpless. You don't want them to feel hopeless. So you want them to have a theoretical development that's going to sustain them, that's going to keep them strong, that's going to keep them confident. And the only way that's possible is through political education. And political education comes through some books that are reflective of a person's current situation and a number of options that they have in terms of their liberation. This other book by Mumia Abu-Jamal, current political prisoner, is very important because it deals with the history of the Black Panther Party. And I think that's needs to be exposed to our children, because our children need to hear our people telling our story, right? We don't want to hear outsiders. And Mumia seen things happen. He was about his business. He was a journalist and still is a journalist. And we have to understand, his firsthand account of things, and it allows us to broaden our perspective on things. My next question is, why have schools not had political prisoners in their curriculum?
That's a good question. They have not had the political prisoners as a component of the school curriculum, because, as I said, that would involve them telling the truth of Black people's situation. I'm sure that if Jalil Mutaquin was writing his book today, or Mumia was writing his book today, and they are political prisoners or former political prisoners, they would include the fact that today what has happened is the rich ruling class have moved millions of jobs overseas. And this is what Jalil would tell us. This is what Mumia would tell us if they were writing their book today. And this is why the authorities don't want political prisoners in the present school curriculum, because they would discuss the fact that the rich ruling class have moved millions of jobs overseas, and the government, the racist government, have been told by the agents of the rich ruling class to tell people that unqualified Black people, through DEI programs and affirmative action programs, have taken the job from white people, and that is to tell white people really to attack Black people. And they're saying that unqualified Black people have taken the jobs of white people. They're saying that unqualified queer people, and they're saying that illegal aliens have taken the jobs of qualified white people. But the real fact is the rich ruling class have moved their jobs from here, where they pay people $30 an hour. They have moved their jobs to locations overseas where they can pay people 30 cents an hour and still sell the T-shirt on the American market and make $20 for that T-shirt. And that is a big profit margin. And that is a big profit margin. And the racist whites should know that the rich ruling class have elected to take millions of jobs overseas, and it's not Black people or queer people or illegal aliens who have taken those jobs. And those jobs have gone overseas, and we must know that. And the racists should attack the rich ruling class if they're talking about the loss of jobs, because the rich ruling class have moved the jobs overseas. And that's what a lot of people don't know. And so we want to know that that's why they do not want political prisoners in the school curriculum, because the political prisoners and the former political prisoners would tell the people the truth. And that is why they don't include them. And that is why they really say that no political prisoners exist. The rich ruling class intend to feed the American people a select diet of information, and they don't want political prisoners and former political prisoners to be given the American people the truth of the matter. So, yes. So they are telling white people to attack Black people and to attack queer people and to attack illegal immigrants. And really, the white racists should attack the rich ruling class, because the jobs that Black people have, queer people have, and illegal aliens have is only thousands and maybe a few million. But the rich ruling class have moved millions and millions of jobs overseas. And they are the ones who the racists should attack, and not us. And that is what political prisoners would discuss. And that is what the authorities don't want. The reason why the authorities don't want political prisoners in the curriculum.
Excellent, brother. I appreciate that elaboration. You allowed me to be more informed, as well as those who are viewing to be more informed. And I think that, your ability to break down things politically and give a critical analysis of capitalism allows us to understand what's going on when we go to work, what's going on when we pay taxes, what's going on when we witness oppression, when we witness exploitation happening, and why that it is important for us to get more educated, get more involved. I know different people are committed to different levels, but at some point, you're going to have to do something, right? Because to do nothing is to co-sign your own oppression, to say that the conditions that are current are good, the conditions that are current are justifiable. And I think that there's a serious problem with that. And you see that in all sectors, whether it's homelessness, whether it's in mass incarceration, or even the violence that's going on in the community. And So when we have these discussions around what's going on in schools and how are our children approaching schools, what's their mindset? I think that Ocean Hill Brownsville was a very important moment in our history for self-determination, because it allowed us to understand that you have to take this very seriously when it comes to your children's education. You can't just be on the sideline, being comfortable, having them come home and just tell you anything, and you just accept it. You're ignoring them. You're just moving forward, because we are caught up in a routine, right? You come home from work, you're tired, you fix food, you barely have a conversation with your children, you don't know what they're being taught, and then in your mind you're preparing yourself for the next work day. And depending on your relationship to your job, you might be in a hole, meaning that you on your last and final warning. So next thing you know, that if you're late the next day, you're out of employment, and now you have even additional problems. I think that as parents, we need to sit around and we need to have some serious discussion with our children about what they learned, and ask them, what did they think about what they learned? And then we need to give them assignments to present to their teacher, to their classmates, and have them engage in those, because those classmates are their peers, and they're going to grow up together, and they're going to have the same experience, or at least similar experiences, and they're going to have to come up with solutions. And if you can exchange ideas, then I think that you can have a clear understanding of what's happening. My brother, give me some experiences or some ideas that come to mind when you think about Ocean Hill Brownsville.
Well, Ocean Hill Brownsville was a very important thing, uh, a very important happening, because the authorities were saying that the community should control their curriculum and control the school district and that sort of thing. But they didn't really know that there was a serious body of people, a serious body of Black people who over the years have been thinking about the benefits of controlling our schools and saving our children's lives. Because as it is now, as it has been, when our students learn about the experiences and accomplishments of whites, they also learn that they are an accessory. They are to be told, they are to wait for someone to tell them what to do. And that's not a way to live. Waiting, standing out on the sidewalk, waiting for somebody to come along and tell you what to do, how you spend the rest of your life, because you learn. Prior to the Ocean Hill Brownfield thing, our students were learning that they are not active participants. They are not initiators of situations. They are the recipients. They receive orders, and then that's the extent that they participate in society. So the Ocean Hill Brownsville thing was a very good thing, and our people stood up and made that clear that we needed and we would fully appreciate having control of our school district, having control of our curriculum in the schools, and that it was necessary. And so that we would learn who our real heroes was: Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, George Jackson, Jonathan Jackson. These persons are real heroes. And as I said, we would learn about who Washington was, who George Washington was. We would learn about who Andrew Jackson was. And we would learn about Benjamin, what's the name? Benjamin Franklin, that during the French and Indian War, Benjamin Franklin had saved up money, and he intended to buy up the land once they would have took the Indian and the French land, which was known as New France at that time. Benjamin Franklin had money saved up. He was going to buy up plots of land for $5 and sell it for $100 to the people coming along. That's what the truth of the matter that we will be learning about these people. And those people, they are the original gangsters. And that is what having control of our school district, Ocean Hill, Brownsville, that is what would have resulted. Our people would have learned that the original gangsters was Washington, was Hamilton, was Andrew Jackson. Those are the real original gangsters. And our school system having control of the district and having control of the curriculum will enable us to learn the truth of the matter. And that is what is being taught. A lot of teachers around in the different school areas are teaching the students the truth, and that is what is angering the right-wing people today. And so they are doing their little Ocean Hill, Brownsville takeover situation where they are. So that's what's going on, Frank.
Absolutely. Thanks again for that detailed analysis of Ocean Hill Brownsville, why it's important for us to study it, and because it becomes real to us, right? Once we know that something existed at a particular time in our community, then we understand that, oh, wow, if that happened then, it can happen now. We just have to reignite ourselves with the desire, the passion to fight for our self-determination. What I want to do before we leave is to give our viewers an assignment, right? If you're a teacher, tell your child to write to a political prisoner. If you're a part of the PTA, have them have a political prisoner speak at one of your meetings. If you're a principal at a school, have write to a political prisoner. Ask them about their experience and ask them about sharing their experience with the students. Organize workshops around political prisoners, writing to them. If you need some assistance and help, you can contact me at 347-679-3936. It's very important that, beyond us having a discussion about the importance of having political prisoners being discussed and included in the school curriculum for this school year, is that we carry out an assignment. So I'm giving everyone an assignment. I also giving myself assignment to find a school to write to reach out to. And if you need me to speak to a principal, please call me at 347-679-3936. If you're a teacher and you would like me to come to your class and speak about political prisoners, please contact me at 347-679-3936. It's important that we don't forget our political prisoners. It's important that we make sure we do all we can to bring them home. Brother, what would you suggest, or what assignment would you give people regarding what was discussed today and how they relate to their children?
Well, I would tell them to know that the political prisoners are the persons who would tell them the truth of the matter of what has happened in America and what is going on in America. And I would emphasize that, that our political prisoners have devoted a great deal of studying to the situation. I would recommend that in addition to reading Jalil's book, in addition to reading Mumia's books, I would also recommend that they read Russell Schultz's books too. And that would give an indication of the dedication of our political prisoners to studying what is going on in the world and knowing the truth of what is going on, what has taken place. So that is the additional thing that I would ask our people to do, and they should know and not forget that the government is telling white people to attack black people. When they say that they DEI, they're getting rid of DEI and affirmative action and stuff, and when they say that Kamala Harris was in the Senate and all that because of her DEI, she's an unqualified person, they are telling racist whites to attack black people rather than attack the true persons who are responsible for white people losing their job, losing their house, losing their car. Is because the rich ruling class have moved the jobs overseas, and they are the ones who are at fault. So I would suggest that parents and teachers tell that to their students and have their students look that up and write on that subject.
Excellent, brother. Yes, I hope people who are listening, well, I know people who are listening are internalizing what we discussed today, and they're going to take that up very seriously. And if you're interested in doing some work, please text me at 347-679-3936 and text I am interested in doing work. I am interested in doing work, because that's very important that, we take theory and we put it to practice, because if we don't put it to practice, then the theory has no truthful meaning. So with that, I say peace and love. Be safe in your travels. Don't let political prisoners die in prison. Find time to write to a political prisoner and keep them close to your heart, and teach your
Free
children
them
about
all.
political prisoners. Free them all.
Free them all.
What's
Free
the
them
call?
all. Free them all. Free them all.
Ever see Indians live proud and free before the oppressor's slavery? Black people live proud and free. How many more? Tell me now, how many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and say you're not involved. Don't try to convince yourself that these problems don't affect you at all. Because now it's Lebanon, Azania, Grenada. How many more? Tell me now, how many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and watch your children go off to war. Don't stay